Evening Star by Edgar Allan Poe. Poem analysis. Evening Star. 'Twas noontide of summer and midtime of night, and stars in their orbits shone pale through the light of the brighter cold moon. Mid planets her slaves, herself in the heavens, her beam on the waves. I gazed awhile on her cold smile, too cold for me. There passed as a shroud a fleecy cloud, and I turned away to thee, proud evening star, in thy glory afar. And dearer thy beam shall be, for joy to my heart is the proud part thou bearest in heaven at night, and more I admire thy distant fire than the colder lowly light. In this video, we're going to analyze this poem. So basically, read some parts of it again and try to understand what they mean, and also talk about the structure of the poem, things like literary devices, rhythm, etc. Before going deeper into the poem, let's take a look at the author's biography to understand some details easily. Edgar Allan Poe was born on January 19th, 1809 in Boston, Massachusetts. He was a writer and editor, best known for his poems and short stories, especially his tales of mystery and horror. He was adopted by the age of 2 after being abandoned by his father and losing his mother the following year. Remembered as a central figure of Romanticism and literature in the U.S., his poem The Raven was published to instant success. We'll start by analyzing simple aspects of the poem, such as sound, rhymes, and rhythm. The text only has one stanza, so we divided it according to sound and gave each sound a letter, making it easier to understand. So for example, the letter A is for the sound of night and light, and the letter B is for the sound of slaves and waves, and so on. So here we have AA, BB, CC, DD, E, FE, GG, A. That's a rhyme scheme.
'Twas noontide of summer and midtime of night, and stars in their orbits shone pale through the light. In the poem there are rhyming syllables, therefore the same sound. In this part, night and light. So, as you can see, there is a verse between rhyming verses, that's the rhyme scheme. In this part, a verse, a rhyme verse, another verse, and the second rhyme verse. Also, throughout the whole poem, there is the use of Old English, so in every part we'll explain what some words that may be harder to understand mean, even if they are not from Old English. For example, noontide means noon or midday. So, in the beginning we can see the narrator creating an image of the night sky, by indicating the time of the year and a little bit about the stars. Of the brighter cold moon, mid planets her slaves, herself in the heavens, her beam on the waves. Now the similar sounds are in slaves and waves. It has the same scheme from previous part. Verse, rhyme verse, verse, and a second rhyme verse. Beam means line of light. In this part, Poe talks about the moon as a cold, bright, powerful entity in the sky. I gazed a while on her cold smile, too cold for me. There passed as a shroud a fleecy cloud. Here we can see two sound pairs, meaning we have two different sounds presented twice each. A while and smile, the first pair. Shroud and cloud, the second pair. This part has different rhyme scheme. Two verses with the same sound, the rhyme. A verse and two more verses with the same sound. Gazed means stared, and fleecy means soft. Now the poet shows us that maybe the moon isn't exactly what he's looking for. Too cold for me, he says, and then tells us it is now covered by a shroud, the fleecy cloud. And I turned away to thee, proud evening star, in thy glory afar, and dear thy being shall be. In this part, we have two sound pairs again, thee and be, star and afar. Also, we have two rhyme schemes, the one with a break between the rhyme verses, thee and be, and the one where the verses are together, one after the other, star and afar. Thee means you, thy means yours. Here Paul turns to the proud evening star, so glorious, distant. In the poet's vision, better than that cold moon. For joy to my heart is the proud part. In these two verses there is one sound pair, heart and part, and we only have one rhyme scheme, the one where the verses are together. So, in this part we can see the poet's feelings about the particular star. That little bright entity in the sky is joy to his heart, and he is also proud, therefore, when he saw the star. It just made him happy.
Thou bearest in heaven at night, and more I admire thy distant fire than that colder, lowly light. In the last part of the poem, there are two rhyme schemes again, with a break between the rhyme verses, night and light, and the one where the verses are together, admire and fire. Thou means you, and bearest means are. Here, the verses show Poe talking about how he was gazing at the star, looking at it deeply, and how it was getting further away. To the poet, the evening star is better than the cold moon. To him, it represents love and happiness. Now, we're going to talk about symbols. Let's not forget, these are one of many interpretations. In this poem, we have three symbols. They're like implicit. The first one is the moon. The moon is personified into someone the narrator is in love with. She outshines the other stars, but she's just cold, too cold for him, meaning she's not right for him. The fleecy cloud, or the shroud, can be seen as the truth or reality. It takes the narrator's eyes away from the moon. And the last symbol, the evening star, is just the love of his life, so glorious, so truthful. Lastly, we're going to talk about the famous Ezra Pound theory, where he divides all poems into three categories: logopoeia, phanopia, and melopoeia. A logopoeia is when a poem develops an idea through the words. A phanopia is when a poem describes something, an image, to the reader to create. And a melopoeia is when the words are organized to attend some musical property. Evening Star is most likely a phanopia and a melopoeia, because along the poem it is possible to create an image in our heads of the bright night sky, but it's also a melopoeia because the poet works with rhythm and rhyme division, so we can clearly listen to the sound similarities throughout the whole poem.
To end the video, let's read the poem again. Evening Star. 'Twas noontide of summer and mid-time of night, and stars in their orbits shone pale through the light of the brighter cold moon, mid planets her slaves, herself in the heavens, her beam on the waves. I gazed a while on her cold smile, too cold for me. There passed as a shroud, a fleecy cloud. And I turned away to thee, proud evening star, in thy glory afar, and dear thy wing shall be. For joy to my heart is the proud part. Thou bearest in heaven at night, and more I admire thy distant fire than the colder lowly light. Thank you for watching.